Welcome back, my radiant Leo. I'm Luna Celestine, and today I invite you into a truth your soul has always carried, quietly, reverently, even if your mind has not yet given it words. You've long been told that you were born to shine, to lead, to inspire. But this message isn't about the spotlight you command or the admiration you draw. It's about something deeper, something older. It's about the role your spirit came to play in the sacred story of your family. Because, despite what you may have believed, you were not born to escape your lineage. You were born to heal it. You are not simply the center of attention, Leo. You are the center of transformation, the spiritual heart of a legacy yearning to be rewritten through love. Right now, the heavens are bearing witness to a rare and potent alignment, one that occurs only once every 29 years. Saturn, the great teacher of karma, discipline, and ancestral cycles, forms a sacred aspect with the sun, your ruling luminary, the core of your identity, the very essence of your soul. And this meeting is illuminating the most tender part of your birth chart, the house of family, roots, and origin. This is not a random moment. This is cosmic choreography. The universe is placing you at the center of an ancient karmic gateway, inviting you to look beyond the roles you've played within your family and to see the truth of why your soul chose them and why they chose you. Maybe you've felt it, the pull toward old memories, the sudden appearance of a childhood object, the echo of a name from the past spoken by a stranger, or dreams, vivid, persistent dreams, of relatives long gone or family homes filled with unspoken emotion. These are not coincidences. These are soul signals, signs that the past is not finished speaking, and that your presence, your light, is the key to completing a chapter that's been left open for generations. You are not carrying your family's burdens by accident. You are carrying them because your soul was strong enough to transmute them. And that, Leo, is where your true royalty begins. In the moments ahead, we'll explore what this alignment means for your path, what inherited patterns are ready to dissolve, and how your courage, not to fight, but to feel, will awaken healing for those who came before you and for those who will come after. You are not alone in this. The stars themselves are opening the gates. The healing of your bloodline begins with you. Are you ready to step through? There is a pattern running through your family, Leo, an unspoken thread that weaves itself into stories, silences, expectations, and comparisons. Perhaps you've felt it but couldn't name it, that heaviness in your chest when you're around certain relatives, that invisible pressure to live up to a version of yourself you never agreed to. The subtle guilt when you outshine, or the quiet sadness when your joy doesn't feel fully welcomed. These aren't just emotions, they are echoes of ancestral wounds. Pain passed down, not because your family wished it upon you, but because no one before you knew how to heal it. You see, in many Leo households, there is a paradox. Your light is both celebrated and resisted. You were born with a brilliance that others can feel, even when you're silent. It's not arrogance, it's your essence. But in a family system where vulnerability is feared and appearances are prized, that essence can feel threatening. Your joy becomes too loud, your truth becomes too raw, your independence too uncontainable. And so, what should have been embraced is sometimes met with discomfort, envy, or control. But let me be clear. This is not personal. This is energetic. Your presence awakens what others have tried to keep buried, not because you provoke it, but because you radiate what is real. This is why you've felt misunderstood, even by those closest to you. It's why you may have played the role of the rebel, the black sheep, or the overachiever, trying to carve out a space where your authenticity wouldn't be questioned. But Leo, your soul didn't come here to abandon your family. It came to shift the entire story. You were never meant to escape, you were meant to transform. Not through resistance, but through remembrance. Through seeing your family not as a prison, but as a spiritual stage. a place where your strength, compassion, and sacred visibility can ripple backward through generations and forward into the future. And so the question becomes, what has been repeating in your family? What themes have played out across different faces and lifetimes? Is it silence, sacrifice, abandonment, anger that simmers beneath smiles, talents that were never realized, illnesses that seem to echo from one branch of the tree to another? These are not just patterns, they are invitations. Invitations for you to look with eyes that no one before you dared to open. To see, not with judgment, but with awareness. Not to blame, but to bless. And in blessing, to break the cycle. This is not easy work, Leo. It requires courage. But you have always had that. Not the kind of courage that roars on a battlefield, but the kind that stays soft in the face of old wounds. The kind that listens to a parent who never knew how to say, "I love you." The kind that sits with the ache of unspoken history and says, "It ends with me." And when you do this, when you choose to hold space for your family's pain with your own fierce heart, something miraculous begins. The invisible chains begin to loosen. The energy shifts. The old stories start to rewrite themselves. The stars are not asking you to carry the entire weight of your family's past, Leo. Only to begin with what is yours, and that begins with the sacred act of witnessing. What mystics call compassionate observation. The first step is not to fix, confront, or explain. The first step is to see, clearly, lovingly, without judgment. Watch how certain themes repeat in your family's history. Notice how the same wounds show up in different people. The grandfather who never spoke his truth. The aunt who gave up her dreams for others, the sibling who carries anger without words, the parent who loves but doesn't know how to show it. These aren't random. They are patterns. And your awareness alone begins to dissolve their power. Once you've named the pattern, the next step is even deeper. Choose to respond differently. Not out of defiance, but out of alignment. If the pattern was silence, you speak gently. If the pattern was control, you set soft but firm boundaries. If the pattern was emotional distance, you extend presence. Not to prove anything, but to plant a new seed. And let me say this clearly, Leo. You do not need your family's permission or participation to begin. Your energetic shift is enough. The light you radiate from within is already rewriting the story, even if they never fully see it. There may be conversations you've longed to have, words you've carried in your heart for years. The current astrological window, especially in the next 3 months, is opening a rare channel, one where hearts long closed may begin to open. Use this time wisely. When you speak, do so not to assign blame, but to build bridges. Speak not to change them, but to free yourself. Share your truth as a gift, not a demand. And if some still cannot receive it, let that be okay. You are not here to be understood by everyone, only to remain true to yourself. Some Leos are being called now to begin simple yet profound family rituals, lighting a candle for an ancestor each night, recording the stories of elders before they're lost, revisiting old photographs not with sorrow but with gratitude. Others may feel the need to write letters never sent, to release unspoken emotions. These small acts are not meaningless. They are sacred. Every gesture made with love becomes an offering to the soul of your lineage. And yes, dear Leo, there will be resistance. Inside you, around you. Some family members may feel uncomfortable with your new light. Old roles may try to pull you back. Do not mistake that for failure. Resistance is not a sign to retreat. It is proof that healing is taking root. You have been chosen not because it is easy, but because your heart is strong enough to remain open while others close. Your warmth is strong enough to soften what has been frozen for decades. Your presence is powerful enough to shift the course of generations. And now, Leo, we arrive at the deepest truth, the one your soul may have been quietly preparing for, even if your heart resisted it. Your greatest power is not in shining despite your family. It is in shining through them, with them, and for them. You see, we live in a world that glorifies distance, that tells us we must break free from our roots in order to find ourselves. But astrology, the sacred language of the stars, tells a different story. It reveals that your Leo radiance is not meant to escape your family legacy. It is meant to redeem it. You were never meant to abandon the ship. You came to take the wheel and gently, steadily, steer it into new waters. That difficult family member, the one who tests every ounce of your patience, they are not your enemy, they are your mirror. That unspoken tension at the dinner table, it is not a punishment, it is a portal. That longing to be seen by the ones who never quite understood you, it was never about them, it was about you recognizing your value without their permission. When you stop demanding love and start offering it unconditionally, without losing yourself, something miraculous begins. You stop reacting to the past and start rewriting the future. And make no mistake, this work you are doing now, this healing you are choosing, it does not end with you. It ripples forward 7 generations, and it echoes back 7 generations. That is the scope of your solar legacy, Leo. You are not just a light for today, you are a torchbearer for centuries of transformation. The courage it takes to see your family clearly, to forgive what cannot be undone, and to love without condition. That is not weak. That is royalty, true Leo royalty, the kind that leads not with force but with heart, the kind that turns inheritance into healing, the kind that redefines what family can become. So now I ask you, Leo, if this is the moment to begin a new chapter in your family story, not as the outsider, not as the wounded child, but as the catalyst, what would the first page say? What truth would you speak? What ritual would you begin? What legacy would you leave behind? Because this is not just about astrology. This is your soul's invitation. The universe is not only offering you healing, it is offering you the chance to become the healer. In the coming days, watch for the signs. A name spoken more than once, an old photo rediscovered, a dream that returns again and again. These are not accidents, they are divine breadcrumbs. Follow them, trust them, honor them, because your family, with all its messiness, its contradictions, its beauty and its wounds, is not an obstacle to your light. It is the very reason your light exists. And when you accept this, Leo, you will no longer need to shine alone. You will become the sun that warms the entire garden of your lineage, and from that warmth, something new will bloom. There is something else, Leo, something many would never guess about you. Behind the brilliance, behind the strength, behind that golden laugh you offer so freely, there has often lived a quiet loneliness, a sense of being different, even among those who share your blood. You may have wondered, why do I feel like I don't fully belong here? Perhaps you've carried guilt for that feeling, as if your yearning for something deeper meant you were ungrateful. But the truth is, that sense of distance was never a flaw. It was the space where your soul was preparing to become the bridge. You see, Leo, the ache of disconnection is not just a wound, it's a compass. It has always pointed toward your deeper calling, that longing to belong, to be seen not just for your light, but for your depth, is not something you were meant to suppress. It's something you were meant to follow inward, toward understanding, toward softness, towards soul-level connection. You weren't placed in your family to simply fit in. You were placed there to feel deeply and to use those feelings as keys to unlock healing for others who were never taught how. Often, in ancestral lines, there is one person, one soul, who carries emotions that others cannot. The sadness that was suppressed, the creativity that was never expressed, the sensitivity that was shamed, the desire for truth in a lineage that valued silence. That soul becomes the emotional lighthouse for the family. That soul becomes the one who feels different. That soul is you, Leo. But here is the miracle. When you stop resisting that sense of separateness and instead embrace it as the divine role your soul agreed to play, It transforms from loneliness into leadership, not the kind of leadership that controls, but the kind that holds space, that creates safety, that says, I see you, I forgive you, I love you, even here. You become the one who doesn't just break generational pain. You become the one who brings warmth where it has never existed before. So, if you've ever felt emotionally exiled from your family, Leo, know this. You weren't banished. You were entrusted. Entrusted with a light that could navigate the shadows no one else was willing to face. And in doing so, you are not betraying your family. You are bringing them home. If this message touched something deep within you, Leo, take a breath. Let it settle in your chest. You don't need to have all the answers right now. You don't need to rush to fix anything. Sometimes the most powerful transformation begins with simply seeing clearly, gently, what has always been there. In the comments below, I invite you to share one gift, one small yet beautiful trait that you inherited from your family. It might be your strength, your sensitivity, your creativity, your resilience. Even if it took time to see it, even if it's still unfolding, name it. By honoring even one light within your lineage, you begin to reclaim the rest. And if you've ever felt like the different one in your family, the outsider, the dreamer, the one who questioned everything, know this. You are not alone. This space is filled with others walking the same path of remembrance and healing. Leave a comment. Offer your heart. Let yourself be witnessed. And if you haven't already, subscribe to this channel. Each week, we walk deeper into the wisdom of the stars, not just to predict the future, but to remember who we really are. Until next time, Leo, keep shining, not in spite of where you come from, but because of it. You were never meant to carry the family story alone. You were meant to illuminate it.